is the Pilots Podcast with Kyle Hartley.
Hi guys, welcome back to episode 3. I'm joined with Kyle, Nick Priest and Emily. How are you guys going?
Good, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries.
It's pretty good to have you guys here, I must admit. We've been following you for a while, like before uni, and we're only on episode 3 now and you're already here. But I guess we'll just jump back into the conversation because we're already talking about something else.
We've been talking for a while already.
Yeah. So you're currently making the move to a first officer.
Yeah, as I was saying, I guess for me the next move, like I'm currently a second officer on the 787. With my airline, that is what we do for 3 years. That's how we're sort of contracted. But then the next move for me will be 320 first officer.
Right. Okay.
Most likely next move. And aviation industry, anything could happen. But yeah, for me that's probably next move.
Yeah. So for everyone that doesn't know you, are you both happy to give like a quick 5-second thing about each of you? Is that all cool?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm Nick Priest. I'm currently second officer on the 787 with an airline based in Melbourne. So thanks for bringing us up again to Brisbane.
Worries.
I got into a cadetship. I started that in 2012, I believe it was. And then I started with my current airline in 2015, late 2015. So actually, 3 years and 2 days. So, that's my quick summary.
Emily.
I'm Emily. I've been flying for 3 years as well, actually. But I've been through 2 airlines.
Yeah.
So, started budget. Now, semi-not.
Semi, alright.
But I love it.
And what did you do before flight attendant?
I was doing vet nursing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You wanted to be a vet, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We were talking about this yesterday. That's great.
One of my best friends is a vet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she loves it.
Yeah.
I couldn't really handle
funny.
the whole putting down of pets.
Yeah, no.
I'm
Whatever.
scared of birds, so...
You're scared of birds? So am I.
Yeah, so I was like, that's going out the window.
But one thing I wanted to touch on is it's really cool how you guys are both in the same industry and in a relationship. Does it ever, the distance ever bother you? Or that's one thing I'd always pick up. It's you're normally in Hawaii or you're away.
Yeah.
How do you guys make it work?
Well, you just came back from China, so you were gone for how long? 5, 6 days?
China's probably the hardest trip, to be honest, because China itself is very restrictive with their internet. So to get around that, I obviously use a VPN and stuff, which is totally legal for anyone. But China's the hardest because we only fly there twice a week, so the layovers are really long. I left Saturday, and only got back yesterday. So it's a long trip. And China itself can be pollution and stuff. There's not. There's stuff to do there, but I don't know, health-wise, whether you want to stay outside very long, up to you. But China's probably the hardest. Hawaii's not too bad. Say 2 days. I guess as I kind of say, overall, I go away for a few days and then I have only a few days off. So for example, now I think it's 5 days off before I go in again. So.
Are there ever times when you're home and Emily, you're somewhere else? Is that just really annoying for you both, or?
I try and bid for day trips, so you can choose to bid for morning shifts, afternoon shifts. If you want to do layovers, if you don't want to do layovers.
Oh, okay.
Sort of thing. So I was doing 3-day trips, then I was doing 2-day trips, but recently I've been just doing day trips, so it's been easier. So I'm home most nights. So. But
right, okay.
The beauty of it is FaceTime.
Yeah.
If there wasn't that, it'd be hard.
Yeah.
Get used to FaceTime and you can just vlog that way now.
Yeah.
That's true. But I'd say when we first started dating, it's something obviously was both new to us. So we didn't know how it was going to sort of work and look. I think we actually both thought this isn't really going to work. We're not going to really see each other that much. Yeah. But I don't know. Funny enough, it just worked out. Our days off.
We see each other a lot.
Yeah. And you're now a year in.
Yeah. And we see.
And a quick recap. How is it?
Still
comes
up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I don't know if we should say this, but I've said it now. It's funny. I didn't want to date cabin crew and she didn't want to
Yeah,
date a
I
pilot.
did not want. I brushed Nick for like 6
Yeah.
months, hard, like no chill.
What's the meeting story? Was it like, was it?
Yeah, how did it happen?
Basically through Instagram.
Yeah,
Because you both have quite a following.
not really me, but you, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
More than mine.
Everyone go follow Emily.
Plug, always plug.
Always plug. I've taught her always plug.
Yeah, always. Yeah, on Insta, really.
Yeah, through Instagram, really.
Nick was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you around."
Oh,
I was like,
Sliding in them
what?"
DMs.
Yeah.
Classic move.
Like, what a loser! You're a pilot, not interested at all.
I think like initially we kind of just liked each other's photos,
Yeah.
and then obviously I noticed, and I think I followed her back, and then I eventually sent her a message.
Yeah.
But she.
Didn't reply.
Were you
Yeah.
based in Melbourne at this point? When?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd moved down. I'd been there like, maybe a year, I think. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think. But I was hating Melbourne, so I wanted to transfer back to Brisbane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then you met Nick, and then it
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah. And then, so I'm staying. But, I don't know, just with the stereotype, I didn't
Yeah.
really
Is
want
there
to
like
date
ever like a bit of an attitude between the pilots and cabin crew? Like, do you have
Sometimes.
do
I
you
think
work together nicely, or is it?
a lot of the time, yeah. It's different for you, though, because all of your...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Majority of our cabin crew are international, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'd say domestic international is very different.
Yeah, it's different
Because
dynamic.
you, I guess, only have like four cabin crew
Yeah.
domestically, whereas we have like 8, 9, 10.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
honestly, with us, like we'll give a brief before we go to the plane and everything about the flight and everything like that. Other than that, and then in flight, we'll really only deal with the cabin manager.
Yeah.
So, whereas you guys, like,
We all sort of interact. It's, I guess, a lot smaller. And, like, our layovers are in Australia, so if we've got the same duty the next day, we'll go out and have dinner or do
Yeah.
something as a crew, which is nice. But, I guess in every industry there's definitely people you don't get along with. But
yeah.
that's the good thing about it, though. Like, you could fly with someone one day and then the next day you'll never have to see them again.
Yeah.
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 So,
which
but
is
that's
true.
with any job, I guess.
Yeah.
It's going to be people you don't click with.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
As we were saying, I mean, like, if you come
Yeah.
across someone you don't overly like,
Yeah.
how much small talk can you make before it's
Yeah.
just you both stop talking?
yeah.
Yeah, especially like pilots in the cockpit. You can be stuck with them for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And like you do the introductions, hi, what do you do, what do I do, and then
Yeah.
what now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's-
I've definitely had a few.
yeah.
And then how do you break the
Conversations.
silence? Say like 5 hours into straight silence. What's the icebreaker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What's for lunch?
food?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's funny because I mean, the captain and first officer can't eat the same food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Break,
Is that a thing?
icebreaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a thing. You're not allowed to.
could be poisoned, then
Yeah.
if they both
Fair
go
enough.
down, then
So we have to make sure we don't serve you guys the
Yeah.
same food.
yeah.
So do you normally draw the short straw, or like? What's the-
Yeah. Typically, I mean, it's probably not so much these days, but I think, I personally still try to definitely go in the hierarchy, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, most captains, to be honest, most of them are pretty chill and will just be like, I don't really care, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I'm not really that fussy either. So, yeah.
Well, if you could like walk us through, say you have a flight one night. Say you have a flight at 6 p.m. When are you leaving home to,
What's kind of like your daily routine?
Yeah, exactly. What's the?
So if the flight's meant to leave at 6, for example, we sign on internationally an hour and a half before that. So say 4:30. So, I mean, again with me, because it's obviously international flights and they're fairly long, I would. Shift work is obviously a big part of it. So for me, like my body clock, I'd probably try and stay awake like fairly late the night before to try to sleep in as much as I can, or kind of go normal and then get up and try and have a nap in the afternoon.
Okay.
Because obviously, for example, if you're flying at 6 p.m, you're having to stay awake then for, international can be rostered a 12-hour duty.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a long flight. So I don't know, does that really answer, I guess?
Yeah. So like,
I'm not sure before we sign on stuff.
so you're pretty much there. Like the passengers are arriving before you are, and you just
Yeah.
walk through. Do you arrive with the cabin crew, like those buses that come in, or are you making your own route to the airport?
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're on home base, yeah, we just make our own way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're overseas, like similar to you or domestically, whatever, we all get the same crew bus.
Yeah.
We all get there at the same time. So yeah, cabin crew is the same sign-on time as an hour and a half before us. Sorry, hour and a half before the flight time departs.
Okay.
So yeah, typically passengers will be told 3 hours before departure, so we can definitely just be...
Do you pay for parking, or you just have like some other? Is there an exclusive spot, I guess? Or?
No, yeah, the company does provide that. So my company has either a designated car park, or we have access to the long-term car park.
Okay.
Normal people can obviously park in as well.
Right,
So,
okay.
I personally haven't, because I normally park close enough to walk across the terminal, but I've heard stories of obviously pilots who then get on the bus in uniform, obviously, with other passengers, and then it's
kind of awkward.
Yeah, I can imagine that's pretty
Yeah.
Whereas your bus, I guess, is dedicated to staff.
That's just a crew.
Yeah.
So what's your, how, is it the same time, an hour and a half before?
No,
or?
it's different, so...
Because it's domestic.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So when I was at Tiger and I did Bali flying for a whole year, the sign-on was similar to you guys, but now it's minus 55 we have from the flight time. So if it's a 4 o'clock flight, it'll be 3:05 sign-on.
Yeah.
So we've got to be, have everything printed out, sitting in the briefing room, ready to brief.
Yeah.
Is there much prep work before on the plane, or is it more just meeting the crew and hopping on and...
Yeah, so you sort of go into the briefing room with everyone, go through the loads, how many packs, any specials, anything like that that we need to know before we get there. And then we get down to the aircraft, and there's a lot of stuff we have to do before. Sometimes you guys get there.
Yeah.
Security checks, stuff like that, checking equipment.
Yeah.
Cleaning.
Yeah.
A lot of cleaning.
I've seen you guys a few times. You have a similar flight time, and you both go to the airport together.
Yeah.
Which
that must be
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Unfortunately, it's only happened a few times.
Twice.
But yeah, that's pretty handy. I mean, we're hoping, because obviously when I go 320, it'll mainly be day trips, so we're hoping, I guess, to
Bid the same.
try and get the same trips that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of just touching back on that, that's our official sign-on time, but you'll find most guys will probably get there at least 10-15 minutes before that sign-on time, just to go through the flight plan and print everything off and stuff, because we obviously all brief between us 2 or 3 or whatever it is, before we then go brief the cabin crew. So, to look through that properly, for example, looking through NOTAMs, going through an international flight, you're looking at not obviously airports just in Australia, but wherever you're flying to across the world. So
yeah, of course.
that can take some time to really dissect all those.
Yeah. And how did you guys get into aviation? Because earlier you said it was in your blood, you have family in aviation. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's a pilot as well.
Yeah. Is he still a pilot?
Yeah,
Okay.
still a pilot now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose, I don't know whether it's in my blood or not.
Yeah.
Before my dad, he was the first one in his family to become a pilot. But, yeah, I mean, so I guess I've always been around it personally myself. And I've always loved the industry. I guess to answer that, I'm probably not, I guess, your typical pilot, I guess, because I didn't really... in high school, I loved it, but personally, I saw how much Dad studied, and I'm not a fan of study.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, the rest of my life is going to be studying now. But so yeah, I was actually pursuing not a music career, but I went on to study audio engineering after high school.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess my focus at the end of the last few years of my high school was around music subjects and stuff. So yeah, I actually didn't pick science or physics or.
How did that work out in the long run for you?
It definitely made it tougher for me because there was other cadets in my group that had done it. There was guys that were, I reckon, 10 times smarter than me. And probably the hardest subject was, I guess, aerodynamics. So there was obviously a bit of physics background and stuff.
What's going on to everyone listening to the podcast right now? I'd like to say a quick thank you to everyone who made it through the 14-minute mark and into the end of the podcast. I really do appreciate it. I'd like to just do a bit of recap on the episode. I know we said that it was episode 3. Sadly, it came out as episode 5 due to just the way we recorded the episodes and editing whatsoever. We did have a video of this podcast being recorded, but I've seemed to lost those files. I'll be looking for them over the next few days, and if I get them out, I will be sure to post them as soon as possible. But until then, this episode will be strictly audio only on Apple Podcasts, where you found it today. Please stay up to date through our Instagram page at the Pilot Podcast _. We post there daily, plane photos, Instagram highlights, everything you can think of aviation related, and would really appreciate some support there. You can keep up to date with everything going on. Next week will be part 2 of our episode with Nick. We have about an hour and a half of footage sitting down with Nick and Emily, and we'll be more than happy to get some more out to you. Next week we'll be covering Nick's process of going through university to join the airlines, similar to what I'm doing now, and it'll be really interesting to hear what he has to say, so please stick around for that. That'll be out next Monday. I really hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast. I am looking forward to being able to share more information about, university life and getting more personal and what's really going on in my life and how I structure everything and what my plans are. And to everyone out there listening right now, you may think why I started this podcast. And to be honest, my main motivation was that when I was back in high school, if I can think, maybe like 13, I wanted to join the airlines. I wanted to be a pilot, but the only way I could really hear about advice or motivation or personal stories was, if Dad met someone and one of his friends was a pilot, and he'd say, you can talk to this guy. But of course, being a 13-year-old kid, you don't feel like going out of your way to make new connections because you feel like you won't be taken seriously because of that age. And age is just a number. It doesn't actually matter. But you seem to figure these things out when you're older, when it doesn't, it isn't relevant anymore. But when I came into Griffith University, I was welcomed to the fact we had a thing called Mates, and it was each week we'd have a new speaker come in and talk to us. One of those speakers which stuck with me was the captain of the flight, who was the first flight from Perth to London. The man who captained that flight, Jeff Foote, he came into university and spoke to us, and that was really cool. And his son, who also is a pilot on the A330s with Qantas. And we get these kind of connections each week, or more or less each week, and we get great connections with like QantasLink or Virgin and just heaps of airlines. I mean, Griffith just has this endless supply of connections, and in a competitive industry, that's just really what you want. And I thought to myself immediately, I was like, oh my God, I mean, all these connections are coming in, and it's just going to like the 200 odd students in this room. I mean, 13-year-old Kyle would have loved this information. I mean, why not broadcast this to someone out there who was like me, 6 years ago? So, my target audience for this podcast is, 13 to 18, boy or girl. You're in high school right now, or you've just finished high school. You might be in a gap year and you're looking at starting a career in aviation, and you just really want to hear different stories, different experiences, which pathway to take: Air Force, university, flight school, and just give you guys as much information possible to help you make that decision. I chose university, and I'm not saying you should, I'm not saying you shouldn't, I'm just telling you what I think, I'm telling you what other people think, and you can make that decision. And I think that would have been really helpful for me when I was younger. And I'm really excited for where this is gonna go. I mean, I had a bit of a break because of university got so intense, and keeping a podcast going, which was meant to be weekly audio and video content, was really difficult. And for which reasons, Mark and I split ways, and it's now just me solo on the podcast. So it's quite a bit of work, but I am really enjoying it again, and the team at Griffith is ever so supporting. I mean, Guy, we had him on episode 2. He is just, the number one supporter behind this podcast, and I couldn't thank him more. If you haven't seen episode 2, please go check it out. I would say he drops some of the best statistics, just some amazing information, just stuff you would want to know moving into the industry, and some pretty mind-blowing facts when you're looking at pathways into aviation. One of the things he dropped, you would have seen it on our Instagram page if you follow it, but 20% of Qantas pilots are Griffith Aviation graduates, which was, mind-blowing. That's a really good number to have. And it's just that kind of stuff that I am excited to bring you. So I'm sorry this went a little bit longer than I expected. I guess this is the first time I've actually had a one-on-one with you guys and been able to speak with you. I'm really looking forward to being able to make a more personal video and possibly make Q&A videos where I can really answer your questions, because I'm just going out off my own doing and creating questions out of my own head to ask these leaders in the industry. And if you guys want to ask something, well, tell me and I'll get it out there for you, and I'll get you an answer. And that's what the main purpose of this podcast is. And of course, if you're not in that 13 to 18 age group, that is completely fine. I mean, I have fellow university students which go to Griffith, and I'm sure they listen to it. They're big fans of it, and I can understand how people from all age groups and all different levels of the industry, could want to listen to this. Someone who is even retiring as a pilot, it could be good to understand what the next generation of aviation is going to be doing, and what they are doing, and how they're coming into the industry, and what they're learning. And so it's valuable for each age group. I appreciate each and every one of you. I would strongly appreciate you going onto the Instagram page right now. Send us a DM, comment what you thought of this episode, and what we could do to improve it, and also what you want to ask, who you want to see on. I'm here for you guys, and I want to make this stuff happen. So please let me know, and I'll do my best to do that. But until then, I will see you next Monday. If you'd like to reach us, of course, Instagram is our best platform, and I look forward to talking to all of you soon. I really appreciate it if you've made it until this 8 minutes of me rambling on. If you have, tell me, and I will be very surprised and humbled as well. So take it easy. Have a good day. I really appreciate you being here. Cheers.